people on the South Side talking about, getting their fair share of resources.
The benefit of being a super district commissioner, I was able to allocate the funds that came into me into those commission districts that needed the revenue the most. There are problems that we face, but there are some areas that are really, really suffering, and the amount of money that came in through the splash was good, but it was not enough to get the things done that they need to have done.
When you look in the northern portion of the county, there's a lot of investment, road infrastructure investment, green space investment, even the maintenance of different roadways. It's different. Why does it seem that way?
In the northern part of DeKalb, that is what we classify the wealthy areas. So the community itself also plays a part in the development of what goes on. They have these community development teams, which are private, put money into their own communities. In the black community or the south or the central part of DeKalb County, and it's sad, but it's true. Okay, well, I'm a taxpayer, and then I pay my taxes. And what you do? I said, but you got to apply other than you just paying your taxes. It's very imperative that you play a part in keeping your area clean. It's very imperative that you create a community group that's willing to invest back into the community.
Well, I understand that, Greg, but when you look at resurfacing roads,
right,
that money isn't going towards resurfacing roads. You don't see potholes on the north side.
No.
When you do see resurfacing projects going on, the whole road is resurfaced. It's evident that there is more investment going on in the northern portion of the county versus the south side.
You and I both see the same thing. In the northern part of the DeKalb, they'll come in, they'll repave the entire street, not just one side of it.
Yeah.
And the southern or central part of the DeKalb, they'll come and pave the one side. What doesn't happen in the south or central part of the DeKalb is that they don't really argue. They're thankful that this is what happened. There are some people that are proactive, and there are those that are reactive.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the people that you look at. See, all the while now you want to complain after such and such wasn't done. But if you're complaining before and you complain through the entire process, what you need to have done will be done. But don't wait until something bad happens, but then you come and start raising sand, and then you become satisfied with what you get, the little bit.
Commissioners are citizens as well.
Absolutely.
And so when you run for office, you tell the people that are going to vote for you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. You run for office to fight for your community. We deserve the same investment in our community that we're putting in other communities. And that's how I look at it.
I will not dispute with you, sir. I mean, you just told God honest truth. Because you were elected, when you made a commitment to serve the people, that's exactly what you went out to do. What people don't understand is that you're not the only commissioner on that board.
Correct.
So you get out there and you raise sand, and then you stomp your feet, and you're making real noise, and they have to pay attention. And let's meet Bruce halfway. Well, with Bruce know if they meet me halfway, they never meet me all the way, because Bruce only going for what he's going to get, what he knows he can get. The same thing with me.
Exactly.
I don't go and make promises that I can't keep, but the promises that I make is that I'm going to represent the people with everything that's in me. Cool. I'm never comfortable with the status quo. I want to make some things happen.
I remember that. I remember you standing up. I remember you fighting for resources for your community, and that made me proud.
Right.
As a elected official just south of you.
Yes, sir. Man, my thing is partnering with my neighboring counties so that we can bring a positive resolve to the entire state.
You tried to get back into your seat.
Yes, sir.
This past year.
Right.
What were your plans for DeKalb County?
To continue the journey that which I started was to build, to grow, to develop a county that people will be glad to say, hey, I live in DeKalb. Working with police officers, working with public safety individuals to reduce the abuse. Not only that, to bring about, to make our county safer.
So there is a push for cityhood.
Yeah.
On the south side of the county. There is another city that is being formed right now with the approval of the state legislature.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to weigh why one and not the other.
I see their concern, but I also understand that we're creating another layer of government. DeKalb County right now has, the county within itself has about 13 cities that are within it, that reside in the county. They still rely on the county for certain, assistance, water and sewer. Some rely for police protection, fire, but yet they're their own cities. And it really weakens the county as a whole, in my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion.
No, and that's a great point.
Yeah.
12 years ago, when they were looking at creating a city in the northern portion of Henry County, I was entirely opposed to it.
Right.
And that was mainly because I controlled the money. And my approach was to ensure that each commissioner received the same amount of SPLOST money, and then the residents could determine where that money would be invested.
Absolutely.
Now, over the years, like within the last couple of years, that all has changed. Now all the money is being pushed to the south side, and no money is coming on the north side. I objected to any idea of being a city back then, but if I was approached today about creating a city because we're not receiving the same resources, I would say, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen, because we're not going to be able to pave our roads. We're not going to be able to take care of our parks. We're not going to be able to do anything if we are not in control of the revenue and how the revenue is allocated.
When you go to the polls and you vote, and that sends a message to anyone that's elected or even considering being elected, because if the people put you in office, they can take you out of office.
Who's in control of allocating the SPLOST dollars and where those dollars go?
What they do, they look at what needs to be dispersed and how it's dispersed among the cities and how it's dispersed among the commissioners for their prospective districts.
But shouldn't most of that money go to unincorporated over the cities? Because the cities, they all get their own allocation of SPLOST.
I was a commissioner and we created the SPLOST. We had to, we put a rubric together so we can ascertain how much goes to each city. What goes to each city is based on the population of the cities.
Those are the cities.
Right.
I'm talking about the counties. I mean, each commissioner, except for the super commissioners, have the same amount of people in their voting population.
Right.
So those allocation of funds should be split evenly, from my perspective.
From your perspective.
From my perspective. Now that has changed in Henry County. Now the people on the north side of the county aren't getting the same investment that they're getting on the south side of the county. I think that's unfair, and if that's what's going on in DeKalb, I think it's unfair for
we prioritize projects, and I have to agree with you about patching the right side of the road but leaving the left side unpatched.
Yes.
Well, for me, that's a problem. So I would say, hey, if we're going to get the entire road resurfaced, then I'm going to allocate this much money to this project. Now, if I ride through there and that's not being done, I only see one side done, then I'm on the phone. If I'm not in your office, hey man, this is what we said. Why wasn't this done? Well, the engineer didn't feel a need to do that. That's not what we said. So it's a collaboration, because you and I know we represent our constituents. So we understand and see what's going on, and they don't see us behind the closed doors. They don't see us in there raising sand. But when we're on the board and when we're sitting up in front of folk, one thing I've never known you to do, and I've followed you for years, is that you've never gotten in front of your colleagues, gotten in front of the citizens and threw your colleague under the bus. When I learned about Bruce Home and what Bruce Home was doing and how your passion was so much for the people, I said, if I ever get elected, I want to be like Bruce. Because his heart is so much towards the people. And believe it or not, the people of this county that you live in, that you represent, they really need someone like you at the helm to fight on their behalf, whether it be at the county commissioner level, whether it be at a state level, wherever it is. They have what they need.
I appreciate that.
But see, you got powers that be that try to undermine. And when they do that, then the people who really need good, strong representation are the ones who suffer. That's why you got in that position to serve. And when people see strength and they see power, they get nervous. They get scared. Oh, he's going to change the dynamic of the game, and he's going to mess up what? Our money.